Good and decent people of YouTube, welcome to Political Drain, where we sift through the sewage at the end of a long pipeline of corporate media in order to expose the liars and the charlatans hell-bent on manipulating you for power and for profit. My name is Bruce Lively, and no, you're not crazy. On the 2nd of September, just a few days ago, a circuit judge, J. Lee Marsh, ruled that the redistricting plan pushed by Republican Governor Ron Desantis violates the state constitution and is prohibited from being used, since it quite frankly diminishes the ability of black voters in North Florida to pick up a representative of their choice.
The ruling will force Republicans to restore Florida's 5th congressional district to give black voters a voice in their own election, which had previously been held by a black Democrat named Al Lawson before Republicans cracked that district to ensure a Republican victory. Judge Marsh wrote in his ruling, plaintiffs have shown that the enacted plan results in the diminishment of black voters' ability to elect their candidate of choice in violation of the Florida Constitution. I asked voting rights attorney Mark Elias, whose law firm represents the plaintiffs in this case, why the 5th congressional district was really the only district in question here, given how egregious this gerrymander was.
And, my law firm challenged the 2011 map, and that litigation took 6 or 7 years.
Got it.
Until we finally won. But it wasn't until after 2018 that we actually saw a lawful map in Florida. Or do you focus in on what is the most concrete and most palpable harm, which is the harm that these black voters faced in the 5th district? So that was what the lawyers involved in this team, in this case, apparently did.
In related news, a Kansas City judge strikes down the partisan and racial gerrymandering they've been doing in that city. Judge Klepper wrote that it violates several provisions of the state constitution, including a right to equal protection, the right to free speech and assembly, and the right to vote. And the court has no difficulty finding as a factual matter that an institutional, effective, pro-Republican gerrymander was motivated, at least in part, by an intent to dilute minority voting strength. In related news, in June of 2023, the Supreme Court struck down Alabama's Republican-drawn congressional map, ruling that it likely violates the Voting Rights Act by diluting the power of the black vote.
In related news, Virginia, June 2018, judge strikes down. In related news, North Carolina, May 2017, judges strike down. In related news, South Carolina, January 2023, federal judge strikes down 1st congressional district as racially gerrymandering.
The Republican Senate map has 36 districts out of 56 that are majority white.
People of color now make up half the population of this state, and therefore they should make up at least half the population of the Georgia Assembly.
While there were some runaway races on the Missouri ballot, one of the hotly contested issues was Amendment 3. It passed, but not by much.
While Clean Missouri gave the job of drafting those maps to a nonpartisan professional, Amendment 3 gives that job back to a bipartisan governor-appointed commission.
In Texas, they're facing an assortment of legal challenges, and that's still to be determined, as well as in Louisiana. They're facing more charges, and that's well to be determined. We'll see how those go. Let me be clear. Joe Biden has had 4 years to deal with the Voting Rights Act, and he hasn't acted strong enough. He hasn't built up a coalition of legislatures to get it passed. He said that was a priority. It has not been. So no, I don't think that Democrats are going to be the savior of black folks or people of color. And I also think that they have been overlooking that base. They have been taking the black vote for granted for years. So when you ask me and you say, you know what? Why do black people keep voting for Democrats even though they've been overlooked for so long? The answer is, black people in America have been forced to choose between a party that has overlooked them and a party that wants to erase them altogether. You think we like that? Just check down in the comment section under this video. See how many people are calling me racist just for acknowledging the existence of this list in the first place, because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And to the average Republican voter out there, it's not your fault. I would bet 75% of you didn't even know this list existed, or at least to the extent that I just showed you. There's a reason for that. Because all the while that they've been hiding this list from you and not reporting this on your news station, they've been telling you that the people with the least amount of power in this country have been taking your rights away, while behind the scenes, they've been taking ours. Now that you know, demand more from your politicians. Show them that that's not who you are. Because whether you're a racist or not, the end result of your vote is the same. I'll see you next time.